As the title says, today we are building a base building system. This is for a couple of titles I've been working on. One of them is FortressCraft 2, because it crosses my mind that I really like the No Man's Sky base building stuff. Right, it works really well. I believe, but I don't know because I've never played it, but I believe that's exactly the same as Rust's base building system. I don't know, never play it, but I assume it is. I think it is. So I spent a little bit of time yesterday sort of prototyping up the basis of it. The idea would be that each of the systems could build voxels as necessary, but it means that you get to build your base out of really nice looking stuff rather than blocks. Show how far I got yesterday. Remember, this is completely from scratch, so but it means that you've got one of it, and then I can detect where to put it, and sometimes it builds and sometimes it doesn't. I was like that sometimes Unity continues to scroll. Okay, there's some. There we go. I need to fix that. But yeah, you get the idea. Morning, Peter. I like your snowflake. Why have you got a snowflake? Or no, it is a snowflake. Yeah, for some reason the whether or not it's locking or not, it's flipping from true to false. I don't know why. There's your kitty. I'm not bad, thank you. I didn't stream yesterday though. I was working. Excuse me. But like yesterday, I barely coughed, but I think it's talking. I think that's part of the issue. It's just talking is it is kind of what makes me feel a bit rubbish. So yeah, maybe I shouldn't be talking. I know. I'm trying to work out. So it's flicking between yep, no, yep, no, yep, no. So let's just keep it cleared out the end. I don't. So it should just be colliding and then colliding every frame. I've derped somewhere. You can see the log. So we get everything colliding, we get true, false, and then we get false, false here for 2 frames. Let me do that project settings. Should be fine. It's going to be a timing thing. Because we clear it down there, and then I assume, haha, this is the... So what might be happening is that some of them are clearing down at an offset. So I assume everything's going to happen in a tick. What I can't do is I can't forcibly run collision, I don't think. Unity forcing physics collision to run. It's quite annoying because I don't want it to collide whenever it feels like. No, obvs. Yeah, or I can use physics.overlap box. Maybe. That's a possibility. So I can do public void do detection. Void physics.overlap box. Is it still there? Yeah. Oh. Does that return anything useful? So when I am calling overlap box, I have to pass in half extents, but the source material has something called extents. But it's half. Good job, guys. And I also need a base build manager right here, mark. Yeah, the idea is this is a fairly generic system. I've written similar things before, like AdaptTea use much the same sort of system. Okay, come on, base build. Oh. I can't type this morning. Okay, based on the instance dot ray mask something? Detection mask. Okay, I don't need to use that overload. Okay, so it shouldn't be able to collide with more than one thing. I think. Do we use current collider? Yeah. I'm just trying to work out in my head, that's why I've gone quiet, if I need more than one interaction. But yeah, I don't think I need those now. So now I can do it when I want to. So that's called on a base component, and then it will run across all of its children. So MA detection, I.do detection. This is also way quicker because it means that I'm only colliding what I want to when I want to. doesn't work. Oh, I didn't set the ray mask. That was why. Ray detection mask can only hit base lock detection. Oh. Huh? Yeah, that's bad. Okay, what's going on here? What have I done? What have I done? So that should be the other mat. No, it's the tech mat. And then let's put that there. And that should hopefully give them in a different colour so I actually see what the hell is going on. So all the so all the children become green, but the parent becomes orange. There is no renderer attached to the booger. Okay, so if LA_ren I.get component base lock detect So I'm slightly confused because there, that says it's colliding. Hold on. We can collide with ourselves. So that's the first thing we should go. No. If LA call I equals self continue, because obviously we will collide with ourselves. Derpy derp. I'm glad I worked that out. I could have spent hours working that out because there's no real indication. Oh, we may have other issues. Entirely likely. And return will only collide with the first valid one. Peter, are you still there, by the way? Last night, if you are there, I'll tell you a story. If you're not, then I won't. If that's not working. I'm gonna get coffee. We'll see if Peter actually fell asleep, and then we'll fix my bugs. You watch the cat. Well, unless the chat's broken, he's not there, so you don't get to hear my story. If you're not Australian, the story wouldn't interest you, so... What? I'm flattened now, but that shouldn't be colliding yet. On the bright side, when it's colliding, I think it is clear. Yeah, so when it's colliding, the timing issue is gone. Hello, Sophie. What are you sitting there for? You're not here. No, you weren't here. I was gonna talk to you, but you didn't reply. Ah, right. Okay, that's because the yeah. That's fine. So, you're Australian, Peter. And I love Australians. Not all of them. I haven't met all of them. But I was on YouTube last night. And when I'm just sort of there in bed, what I do is I'll just go with what YouTube recommends. I don't search stuff. I just say refresh and then just watch something. And it suggested to me, right now, when I was younger, I would watch motorsport racing. And then it got very boring. I mean, genuinely, really quite boring. So I just stopped watching it. Now, remember, there was a period of my life where I had to forcibly watch motorsport racing. And that's not fun. It's not even the slightest bit interesting at all. And then, yesterday, I came across Stadium Super Trucks, which I have never heard of before. Top comment, Dear Diary, today YouTube recommended something absolutely kick-ass and fun to me, right? I've never even heard of this sport, right? And I'm watching it and I'm like, yeah, they're quite cool. And yeah, they got some quite leery suspension, and they look quite cool. And it's a bit like touring cars. And I'm just kind of watching it, going, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Holy shit! They've got fucking ramps on the race course. Why have I never seen this before? Not in my entire life have I watched a sport where they go round corners on two... Look at this. They're going on the corners on, 3 and 2 wheels. And there are ramps and adverts for the Botlo. Brilliant. And there's fucking ramps on the racetrack. And I've watched the whole thing going... I'd watch this sport. I'd go and watch this sport. This is completely mental. And it is mental. And this is a 14-lap race. There's about 4 flips. But like, it's completely batshit. Good job, Australia. I don't know if it's just an Australian thing. I don't know if they do American stuff as well. I've no idea. All I know is that we definitely don't do it in this country. We do Formula 1, which is just boring as shit. But they've got like rotatable cameras. They've got like NASCAR style cameras. So we've got cameras inside the car to look at stuff. They've got cameras in the ramps. And I just watched this whole thing, and it's honestly batshit. I mean, there was quite a nasty accident. The guy was all right, but he ballsed up the corner, went wide, and then he went up the ramp with 2 wheels. Now this is the motorsport I would watch when we're talking about. The guy was fine. I mean, generally speaking, these are not particularly fast. We're talking about 70, 80 miles an hour. But yeah, balls that up. Nearly balls that one up. He did. And then someone screws up on the left-hand side there. Yeah, ever such an amazing reflexes. Is this the one where he balls that up? But yeah, I've watched F1. F1's just tedious. Like, proper... state of the art, as quick as you can, machines, but just really quite boring to watch. Whereas this is like watching, Hot Wheels. This is properly awesome. Yeah, loops are quite difficult. You don't traverse a loop like you do in a computer. Well, you do. If you've ever played Trackmania, you'll know exactly how hard loops are. Is this where he balls it up? Yeah, there we go. Didn't get on all the wheels, and then, yeah, he rolls 7 times. He's all right. Someone else rolls later on, and he shouts to the marshals to put the wheel cart thing back in the track and carries on going. So it's like rallying cross with Hot Wheels. I fucking love it. I might actually find, and watch it. I watched season's highlights from last year, and it's properly awesome. Racing should be exciting and fun, and it's just not. Racing is really very boring, generally. I wish it wasn't. It does. That ends my diatribe on how cool racing is. I also had my motorbike a week now, and I've just mostly been too ill to ride it. How sad is that? No, that should have disabled all the colliders. Cynical based lots of tact on it. It shouldn't have collided with anything. Did you actually make a clip, Pete, Pete, or did you just press the wrong button? Right, did I fix it? It's now working. No, there we go. That's what I need to. That's what I need to make sure doesn't happen. That's fine. But we should be getting a double collider warning. Oh, it is saying double lock. Okay, why is that not working? Who I was? Oh, but no, you just create a clip. Well, thank you. That happens a lot. People like now Vieira's got a bot. It does randomly. I think there's a keyboard shortcut for it. I've lost Discord. There we go. Why are you not flagging up as a double collider? Okay, I think the real question is, why is this not? Not that one. So let me move this up out the way. So this is the, and let's check that's got colliders, but they shouldn't be colliding. And those ones are the wrong way. So it'll only be colliding with those anyway, I hope. But it looks like that has collided with that one. No, not that. Wait, hold on. What the? Yeah, so that's collided with... That has collided with this, which I will agree with. Let me make that a little bit more transparent so I can see. But how has... See, what should happen is when that happens, then on the next frame, it should move forwards by that vector, and then that will be colliding, and then that's not valid. That's how it's supposed to work. Cephas, by the way, is sleeping in his bed, then sleeping on a cushion, then on the rug. So that one, and it's got an offset, but it doesn't say it's colliding. But then we should... Okay. What it doesn't do yet, it needs to decide that, like, if I do that and I click, that shouldn't build. At some point, it should go, that's too far away, you don't get to build that. Yes, the issue is... There. Why are two things not colliding? I feel that one and this one should be colliding. In fact, it last collided with that. Wait, what? What did you last collide with? You last... Wait, what? Base slots attacked. And we're not getting like a... See, that one should be colliding with... Well, it isn't. Yeah, so if the game were to be doing... Okay, what is going on? It's not applying the offset? So if one collides, it should apply the offset. If two collide, it should be like, nah, that ain't happening. And if that bit was working... We're colliding with more than one thing. This is fine. The offset should be identical. But I wonder if we should have already applied the movement by now. Like, is this an iterative process? If we collide with one, do we snap to that position and then recalculate all the collisions? Because you can't, well, you possibly can collide both of them on the same frame, but it's quite hard to do so. So I actually just approach this, I'll say properly. That's fine, no problems. And here, that's fine. And then I can probably, that's cool. Now, if I come in diagonally, they won't collide on the same frame. There's just no way that's going to happen. Oh, I'm too high. Also, I'm using some silly flying cam to do this. But they should all be doing their collision. Like, fail or success, I should be seeing multiple red lines there. Like those, yeah, I mean, I can I see those two colliding? I think so. And that can't collide with that because the collider is disabled. Let me just wipe what that thinks it is. Right, that's not what, you've been fed? Go to sleep. You've had fed, you've had cuddles, you've had milk, you've been outside. It sounds like he just wants attention. Well, it won't make any difference. I don't think there's any point, but I will clear this just so... just for the debug readout. Once this works, by the way, then it's like what these look like is irrelevant. I mean, I can do all the floor bits, the entire base. That's this is the only bit of code that needs to work, and it's just going to be probably a timing issue. Yeah, so that's now colliding with both, or not? I don't know. If I didn't know better, and I don't, that one's that. No, let me put the camera above. Okay, so if I continue to move that into there, yeah, we're not getting a double collision, but that's not a valid collision. Oh, I wonder if I should. Is there any circumstance under which the pair of colliders shouldn't have inherently opposite vectors? Please, can anyone tell me the answer to my question? You don't know. Fine. I think the answer to my question is yes, and I think that is how I will throw away things I don't care about. So, should any given pair of things always have opposite facing colliders? Now, for this, I think the answer is yes. Now, bear in mind, there is more collision to worry about because there's also this collision to worry about, and that collision is the stuff that for walls to connect on. So walls can't connect to the side, but walls can connect to the top. So I believe we have two types of collider, one of which only allows inverted connections. So, for example, this wall will also need to have one on top. assume it's 2.725 times 2. Okay, I don't know what that number that should be. 4.75. So those ones, you see, if I snap it onto that one or this one, those ones need to copy the rotation. So I suspect I will base lots that I suspect I'll have a public or copy rotation equals false. So in this case, anything attaching to there needs to be rotated that way, whereas the other ones don't need to be. Oh, it's Love Your Pet Day. Is that why you're howling at me? Okay. So that might be part of my issue then, and that's a good way. Okay. It's only a valid collider if the dot product is nicely negative. This doesn't apply to rotating colliders. They will need to snap to the okay. This is a dot product between the two vectors things. So flow lr dot fot transform dot forwards. Oops. Transform dot forwards, comma la col I dot transform dot forward. If LR dot is less than negative 0.95 f, woohoo, it's valid. And then we'll do that one in red and oops. This is not that hard a concept overall, so that's pretty good. Yeah. So none of that double collision you need to worry about because we can't have. And I should now be able to build just all willy-nilly. Yeah, look at that. I will need a way of less abstractedly representing the base though, because I need to be able to load and save this. Let's have a think about that. Base build manager. Okay, so what we should be able to do is recreate the build. So at load time, we will reload the base from the data. Now, what will happen is that FortressCraft will have a bolt-on addition to what we've got, and what that will do is it will generate the voxels. I don't have to worry about it because I can make this bigger, I can make it smaller, I can do anything. It just doesn't matter. What the important thing is the locking mechanics and the timing and all those things. I'm trying to think how to store this. Other than... I've hibby. I mean, part of it is I could just store a list of offsets of vector 3's and rotations. I think my base base disk component Okay, so public base build manager dot no, not type. God damn it, what was it? Base component, that was it. No, it wasn't base component. It was base manager. Base manager e-base components, right. Public the same code will apply. We'll simply place each object in turn, hopefully, in the... Oh no, that can't work because... No, I can't do that, I can't do that. I can't place each... Okay. We can't place each object in the same build order as before, because if the player deleted something, we'd need to build it and then delete it, which is clearly stupid. So hopefully placing all the build objects, then running detach. Yeah, he says. Now, interestingly, I think I might just go with global cores rather than relative, because I don't really have any concept of what the first part of the base is. I know some of them do. I mean, that's something I guess to make a note on. Note. Should I require a starter base block and everything needs to be connected to that? If not, then players will absolutely build two nearby bases and then bitch when they don't join up by half a centimetre. Yeah. Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll yes, I've got a base foundation, that's fine. And I'll also make a base floor, which is the same but with no legs. Okay, so detection is only valid in one of two situations. Either we're building a foundation or we're... So again, I haven't played Rust. I feel I should. So I assume in Rust you build a center base object. What happens if you try and build two? Does it always snap to a grid? If I build base... I don't know, maybe I'll draw it to myself. What I mean is, right now I expect the player to build their start base block, and then to build a bit more base and 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 a bit more base. There we go, cool. But if they then build another base, but if they build it slightly off, that means that the next bit of base will be here. That was a really bad. I managed to draw it absolutely. So I'll draw it. If they build their next bit of base here, that means they'll build that, and then this one will just clip right through. So the first block snaps to a grid. My question is, in Rust or any of these games, what happens if you build two bases right next to each other, like 10 feet away from each other? Like, does it just go, yeah, you're not doing that? Is it obvious? Because right now, I suspect that's what players will do. They'll build a little base and a little base, and they'll try and make it into one big base, and it'll go, no. Am I making sense? But, so in Space Engineers, you have the concept of a start block. So what you're saying is you can place one block. If you place any other block within a certain range of that, it snaps to an invisible grid. So, okay, so see that again, I haven't played, so I don't know. I'm running through the problem. So that means that if I build my first block, I can't actually view a grid, can I? Yeah, grid lines. Oh. Wait, I can't actually choose what size the grid is. That seems a little pointless. Okay, so my point is, if I build a base block here, I'll align it just right, just the way I want it. That's cool. And then I'll start to build my base however I want. So I'm not doing any sort of grid snapping. I'm doing it so you could, for instance, have... See, that's a crap system. So right now, there is nothing stopping me. With the system I've got here, waiting for it to compile, please hold, there's nothing stopping me doing... Oh, come on, Unity. Please hold. There we go. There's nothing stopping me doing a block like that. So I can do blocks that are arbitrary shapes. I could do a ramp. I can do any shape I like. Now, if it's grid-based, you can't really do that. But yeah, so what you're saying is if over here I build another base block, I can build it however I like. But you're saying if I build another base block right here, I have to build it. It will just snap the new base block as if it's attached to the grid. I mean, I'm not sure if this is a real issue. I mean, one of the things is just to say you can't build another base this close. I think it will be. I'm not going to worry about this for the moment, but or building a non-foundation block, in which case it must attach to a previous block. Right, so we have two modes. We have start new base and edit existing base. Okay, so we do that. We set the preview object. Yeah, I'm mostly just trying to avoid the situation where someone builds a base and someone else builds a different base and then they try and join it up. We don't have any ability right now to switch, so set new state blueprint mode. That puts us on a foundation. Okay, so at any point, I'll just quickly whoop these onto. might just work, you never know. But yeah, part of this is for a different game. I mean, I'm doing a survival game, as I said. But if the system is generic enough, it should just kind of go right back into the into FortressCraft, which is kind of the point. And then we can have all those nice looking bases as things. So I should be at F1 and then... Oh, that didn't work at all. Yay! Okay, I didn't tag the floor as floor. That's a start. Right now you still... Yep, so that's good. So I should be able to go... Oh, no, I want to build one of those. That's... Okay, so... Special code if we're placing a foundation. To do. Don't allow player to make a foundation too close to anything else. So we're also going to want a public disk data and disk data. It's not a mono, is it? No, it doesn't need to be. Actual honest to God class. I actually said that. I do this. I make it into a class, and then I realise that means I can't debug it in Unity's editor. I won't do that one. I'll just do add component. No. Disk data equals game object. Add component disk data. And I'm just trying to think how to do this. So, again, I have very little experience of these games, other than endlessly being told that they are slow as balls. That's mostly my impression of these games. So I'm trying to work out if there should be a limit to the size. Like a 16 by 16 by 16 base. Rapid, that's 4,000 blocks. That maybe, but that won't run brilliantly. I probably... Well, I don't know how to... So again, should I allow the player to build ridiculous structures, or should I limit the player for reasons of performance? So example is, shall I allow a 16 by 16 by 16 base? Now that's a 32 meter structure. Okay. I don't know if I can get a picture of how big a 32 meter structure. That's a big building. There you go, 32 meter tower. I don't know what this video is. an unbelievably bizarre video. YouTube's full of weird. Like, properly. It's great for doing research. It's absolutely brilliant, but that's quite my point. Is that's a long way down. That is a big tower. Or should it be that bases are allowable up to 16 by 16 by 16, but you are limited to only a certain number within that one? I don't know. It also has the issue that, and it is going to be a list. Exciting thoughts. But hopefully, when it works, this should allow people to build bases within FortressCraft using an alternate system. So you'll still be able to build the individual block by block by block, but you can also build cool-looking corner blocks or doorways or whatever. It should just work. Ensure this isn't a re-add. In like 0 is less than ma disdated dot length dot count dot don't think it'd be good. I think I should just call that location. Global coords. This, even in the biggest of worlds, this will be within the snap torrents. Add a new base block, but it's only away from a previous. I don't have much data about it, so I made disk data I.type, like in print. It shouldn't happen, and it won't. Like for detail, we might have to do a separate path or something. I don't know. I haven't really thought about that. Base disk. Lcomp.lpol. Let's dot Euler angles equals L rotation. Lcomp dot n type equals L type. MB dirty equals FMB dirty. Save. I hate doing loading and saving. I hate it because I can write so much code and it just works and it works and it works and it works and it works. And then you're like, now it has to be the same when you quit and when you come back in. And it's like, I don't want to. So, yes. Okay, so I need to be able to now build the start base bit. So base build manager, no, yeah. No, wait, where's that stored? It's stored in base manager. LA comp I dot selective, oopsie. Game object dot selective false. Now, assuming I haven't screwed up, I shouldn't be able to build anything now because I can only build attached to the base, but nothing should error. Yeah, so there we go, there's our base. And I can't build that because it's not... I don't know what the rule is. I think I might just do that code again. So, special code for playing competitions. So if this dot build time equal not foundation, start new base, maybe. Okay, so in this case, this is a valid foundation build location. I don't have a red right now or a green, but let's make one. Still haven't heard anything back from Mixer, by the way. They're being very slow. I don't quite know what the hold up is. Like I said, I'm not streaming because obviously I've pushed it through. I'm ready to go, and I don't want to stream it until. How was that noise? Hi there. Any news? It's been almost 2 weeks since you last contacted me! Exclamation mark. Thanks, Adam. I don't mind things taking a while, but 2 weeks is to seem like an inordinately a large amount of time to just go, we don't know. Like, either I have to do something to hit partner, or they're happy with it. Like I said, we're not streaming it, we're not pushing it. It's ready to go. That's slightly annoying, and I will need to fix that though. And obviously, I will build different versions. I like the GNOME game. The idea is, what I'll do is I'll watch the GNOME game for a few hours, make notes, implement it, and then update it. Most of the other games are only running one a week. Unity. I think Unity may have just crashed. I will able to duplicate a material. No, there it goes. It just took ages. It's not that big a project. It's really not. Okay, so it's pretty much this code here. So in this case, if we hit otherwise, transposition, and I'll just put that behind the player. So if we can't see it, it goes behind the player. That should just work. Other players probably won't be able to see what you're building. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. See, oh, actually, but the drawback is you don't see anything. It's like, why can't I see anything? Blip. Yeah, so I think what I need to do there is that doesn't work as a concept. So, but this isn't valid. Sad face. Equals, what's it called? Error mat. So I was looking at another game that did this, and they've taken 5 months to write this system that I'm writing now. And it started about 4 o'clock yesterday. It's not that hard. Obviously, you won't see the detection stuff. That's purely for... Actually, hold on. In this case... LA_rand_i dot enable equals false. Again, these won't exist in the end, but there's no point in showing those for these because I don't need to try and line them up. Gosh, I want to go green. It's detect map. Right, that's wrong. I got it the wrong way around, haven't I? Oh no, that... Yeah, I've got it the wrong way around. Wait, hollow mat. I'm going to rename that to orange. Hollow orange. Okay, so yeah, that should be that one. And that should be error mat. Yes, that's fine. It's going, no, 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 yeah. Just to be sure, though, it would help if that was casting a shadow. Because that's not actually colliding with the ground. Why not? Because the foundation point is there, whereas the snap point should be... Boink. Oh. Now, will that make it... That'll either make it better or worse. I'm full of the clever English. It's quite hard to tell because it doesn't cast a shadow. I think that made it worse. All the rest of them don't matter because the rest of them don't have this sort of thing. But these obviously want the legs to stick in the ground. Yeah, so that's fine. That seems to work. I'm just going to commit because I haven't committed today yet. I'm always aware there's a possibility at any second that my PC just goes click ooh, and off and it never comes back on. Always be aware of that when you're working on anything. This is why when people say, oh, I've got like a 10-month-old world in FortressCraft and I've never backed it up. Like, sorry, you've done what? Back it up now. Okay, now we need to do the just need to do the build. I say tab, I'm not really sure what else I'm going to be doing particularly. All we essentially do is we put the preview object where the other object is. Preview object dot... Wait, where is the preview object? Right, where do we put the preview object? Right, well, okay, so preview object dot transform dot position equals camera dot main. And just do the... Right, we should start this off behind the player. Like a kilometre behind the player. So just out of the way, and it won't... In this case, we won't be displaying the preview object. There may also be a situation where the preview object we see is not the preview object we build. So for instance, if we've got like a moving fan or sound effects or particles or whatever, well, then we might need to actually have different ones. Is this PS5 announcement I've been hearing true? There are rumours that the PlayStation 5 will have full backwards compatibility. And in which case, that will be the best thing since sliced cheese. I would buy one on that basis alone. That would be absolutely best thing ever. But I haven't. I've only seen like unsubstantiated rumours about it. Nothing concrete. Let us hope. Okay, so preview object.transform.position equals detection object.transform.position. And then what happens, we should automatically switch to not bad. They help a lot with sound though. Okay, cool. Now, what do I want to do next? I want to teleport forwards 4 months in time and go on a bike ride in the countryside. Anyway, I have two choices. I can either implement walls or I can implement loading and saving. I don't know which. I guess loading and saving, because if I do that, then I can get it working in the simplest state. So let's do that. I'm going to go grab a drink, and then we'll just loading and saving. Back in a moment with a drink. drink. Yeah, loading seems a good idea because that means I can get the complex parts working, and then that's the hard part of doing this. I mean, right now there's no concept of colliding with the world or anything like that. Because obviously, even though it may snap onto something, it needs to not connect with the world, and so on and so on and so on. That's not such a... And that's something that... It's not generic, because obviously in FortressCraft, they will then need to collide with voxels. Which I can't do. But... Okay, so... Just do build preview. But before we do, I'm actually then create. Actually, then I can also do that here. Glorious cold, cold drink. I think just put it there. What are we? Anyway, we should probably make sure we are project settings player. Excuse me. I don't have a good name for it, but it's just called 3D Survival.